Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Wednesday, July 22nd, and this is CTV News. Tonight, a national discussion. Premiers talk strategy amid the growing trade tension with the United States. What's driving crime numbers in New Brunswick's 3 largest cities? And forever remember, mourning a popular professor who died in an unfortunate accident.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. Meeting in Charlottetown today, Canada's premiers and territorial leaders grappled with a full agenda of issues. But once again, U.S. tariff threats and how to respond loomed over the discussions. CTV's Derek Haggett has more.
Trade among provinces and major infrastructure projects are on the agenda here in Charlottetown this week as the premiers are meeting. Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with the premiers tomorrow. Today, in a joint statement, the premiers say they support efforts to negotiate a comprehensive deal that includes the full range of tariff-affected sectors, including softwood lumber and manufacturing. In their statement, the premiers urged the federal government to consult provincial and territorial leaders in a timely fashion as any negotiations take place.
Decisions made beyond our borders have real impacts on Canadian workers, businesses, and families. The cost of living is rising in every Canadian home. Businesses are looking for certainty. Communities want to know that governments can work together to strengthen our economy, improve health care, and build a secure future.
The leaders also called on Ottawa to maintain health care funding to address rising costs, patient needs, and support health professionals.
We think the Health Transfer Act needs to recognize the needs because we cannot grow our economy and invest in our defense sector and improve all of our energy offerings without that healthy workforce, and that requires the federal government to contribute at the same level as the provinces.
Of course, overshadowing this meeting is word U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order to impose 50% tariffs on certain Canadian products within 30 days. Premiers are hoping more interprovincial trade barriers will come down, along with major national projects will come into focus to help the Canadian economy. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Charlottetown.
And ahead of tomorrow's expected formal meeting with the Prime Minister, New Brunswick's Premier is planning to remind him and all of his colleagues from across the country that her province is ready to step up.
So we want to have a big conversation about energy security, about the federal energy strategy, and how New Brunswick's position as the Maritime's energy hub with our leadership in nuclear power, with our ability to expand and extend our hydroelectric power solutions, with our connections and geography connected to Nova Scotia, PEI, Quebec, and the U.S. and the New England market. We have the geography and the ties and the assets to really help Canada achieve its goals and to help all of us grow our economy to be able to afford to deliver health care.
Premier Holt made those comments tonight on CTV News Channel. As we told you last night, the premiers signed an agreement late yesterday allowing direct-to-consumer liquor sales. Well, that could certainly encourage more interprovincial sales. There are those in the industry who see it as a kind of glass half full sort of scenario. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness explains.
Coldstream Clear Distillery launched in 2015. Since then, they have grown significantly, adding distribution throughout Atlantic Canada and Ontario. Following an agreement made by Canadian premiers yesterday in PEI, the rest of the country is now open for business.
It means a lot for us to now reach consumers nationwide.
The premiers of 9 provinces announced they're removing major barriers to the interprovincial sale of alcohol that will allow brewers and distillers to sell directly to consumers.
We hope that this will just grow our consumer base in other provinces, and then sales will naturally follow.
The wine industry also applauds the move, but the director of Wine Growers Nova Scotia says there are still some issues to be worked out.
I mean, costs of shipping and logistics is still a barrier, and there still will be cost to that. So obviously it has to be attractive to the consumer, but the fact that they can now order a case of wine is really attractive.
There is another side to this coin. Nova Scotia businesses now have access to other markets, but so do Nova Scotian consumers who will be able to buy from other areas of the country.
They're asking government to intervene by reducing barriers and creating the conditions for success, and then allowing the business community to create their mechanisms, their markets, their distribution systems to capitalize on these new markets.
Direct-to-consumer purchasing is effective immediately in most places. BC expects to be on board by February. However, it will come with a cost. Taxes will make out-of-province booze more expensive. Quebec, which didn't sign on, still believes it could come in the fall. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Halifax.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
25-year-old man has been arrested in connection with a serious assault in Yarmouth. Police say on Sunday a man approached two young people. Some words were exchanged and it all escalated to a fight, resulting in one youth being rushed to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Jordan Scott Surrett is facing several charges, including assaulting a police officer. He remains in custody. Halifax police investigating a pair of building fires overnight as possible arson cases. Just before 3 a.m., crews responded to a fire at an apartment complex on Brunswick Street. While there, a second fire was detected in an adjoining building. In both cases, the fire was set in the garbage bins of the stairwells. Several units sustained smoke and water damage, but nobody was injured. Police are tonight looking for suspects. The man charged for his alleged role in a protest that saw the windshield of a vehicle carrying Nova Scotia's premier smashed has now been released on bail. 19-year-old from Lawrencetown appeared in Kentville Court this morning, released on conditions, including house arrest. Premier Tim Houston, you'll recall, was leaving a speaking event in Wolfville when protesters surrounded and blocked his vehicle. Police say in one case, one protester, smashed the windshield. The premier was not injured in any of that. All right, this is not the kind of list you want to be on. The crime rate rose in New Brunswick last year, the only province that didn't actually see a drop in crime. New data from Stats Canada shows criminals acts increased in the three largest cities. CTV's Nick Moore has those details.
Whereas the traditionally reported crime rate measures every criminal offense equally, the Crime Severity Index measures more violent and severe crimes with greater weight. New Brunswick's Crime Severity Index value was 90.4 in 2025, up 6% from 2024. Nova Scotia's Crime Severity Index in 2025 was 73.0, down 3% from 2024. On Prince Edward Island, the Crime Severity Index value was down 6% to 68.4. Nunavut was the only territory to see its crime severity value increase year to year. Looking at data from census metropolitan areas across the Maritimes, the Crime Severity Index values went down in Halifax by 6% to 68.6. It went up in New Brunswick's three largest cities, up 11% to 105.6 in Moncton, up 20% to 70 in St. John, and up 7% to 80.5 in Fredericton. St. John recorded the largest CSI increase of any CMA, according to StatsCan. In a statement tonight, the St. John Police Force says it investigated 6 murders and 2 attempted murders in 2025, compared to 3 murders in 2024, adding that the difference would significantly impact the index score. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. George.
Well, despite the recent dry spell, not a lot of people in Nova Scotia were complaining about the rain today. The downpour helped tackle the wildfires on the eastern shore. It also gave a boost to Halifax's depleted water supply. Here's CTV's Callum Smith.
Rain was sporadic today, but when it came down heavy, there was no mistaking it, like first thing this morning. And it has fire crews optimistic.
We're looking at the forecast like everybody else.
The Mooseland Road wildfire near Sheet Harbor remains at about 1,450 hectares and is listed as being held. Firefighting efforts were paused because of the rain, but the fire is still being monitored.
We're hoping to get upwards of an inch of rain over the next couple of days, which would be very, very helpful to the whole province.
Something he's thankful for, especially when looking back at last year's drought conditions.
We've started to see the same conditions this year, the same time. But with the little bit of rain we got on the weekend and this coming through now, we did not receive this type last year. And then next week is looking like it could be rather unsettled again.
But as any Maritimer knows, the forecast can change by the day. While the Cat Ferry canceled crossings today, Halifax's ferry service kept going. But it wasn't just rain and wind to contend with on the harbour. Fog wiped away any chance at seeing the city skyline from Dartmouth.
We're grateful to see the rainfall, especially that it's been quite dry the past few weeks.
Halifax Water says levels in its supply lakes are better than last year.
If we get the amount that is anticipated, this would move us past several weeks ahead of where we would be at last year.
The questionable weather didn't keep everyone away. For those on the water, it appeared to be just another day. And if you needed to get your four-legged friends out for a walk, there were chances to do so between the rainfall. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Okay, thank you, Callum. Still to come tonight, your complete forecast as we ease toward another weekend. And we'll tell you why so many Maritimers are taking road trips this summer. Coming up next, though, retail ripped off.
Just the ease with which criminals can do it and sell the merchandise online.
Theft and shoplifting is on the rise in a lot of retail settings, and analysts say it's time something was done about it. That's next. Stay with us.
With Aaron and Peter.
Hey, you can win $1,000 in under 60 seconds every weekday at 7.
That's when we play $1,000 Minute. Your chance to win $1,000 with us.
A string of retail thefts have put police across the country on high alert. The CTV's Vanessa Wright tells us tonight it's a problem that experts say is really only ramping up.
Retail crime has been climbing to new heights.
If you ask any store, it's definitely been a problem.
Cases from coast to coast show it's only getting worse. On Monday, Halifax police arrested a man and woman accused of going on a shoplifting spree at Sephora over a 2-day period.
As security had gone through their footage, they also discovered that they had been responsible for 2 other thefts from 2 different Sephora locations.
They walked out with more than $10,000 worth of merchandise, and police in Hamilton, Ontario, recovered more than $300,000 worth of stolen hardware. 32 people were busted for that organized retail theft, targeting the building supply retailer.
Why it's happening, we really don't know. Probably a combination of, making it tough for people to make ends meet, but also just the ease with which criminals can do it and sell the merchandise online.
Retail experts like Bruce Winder believe there should be tougher penalties for those who commit retail theft, and says government should consider bail reform.
So that if you do commit a crime like this, you're not getting out, so we need to toughen those things.
Whether you're a consumer or business owner, Halifax police say if you see something, say something. But they warn to never approach a suspect.
Not to say that everybody's dangerous, but you just don't know one person from the next of what they're capable of. So if you do see something that is concerning, just notify store staff and let them handle it.
To hopefully stop a crime in its tracks before it happens again. Vanessa Wright, CTV News.
Thank you, Vanessa. Time for a quick little break here, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. It's mostly clear now. The rain is mostly quit. Brianne will tell us what to expect coming up next. Okay, so it's Wednesday evening, 22nd day of July. Is that it for the rain now? Are we done with that?
For the most part. We will continue to see some scattered showers, mostly in eastern parts of Nova Scotia as well as Cape Breton. So, you know, we've fought it off well enough for today, Bruce. As we can see here from our radar and satellite, we are going to continue to see a little bit of scattered showers and drizzle along the coastline in Nova Scotia. That's because this low pressure system is coming across the Atlantic Ocean. We are going to have a few scattered showers up in northern parts of New Brunswick, but for the most part, this system is clearing out as of Thursday. Late afternoon, early evening, we should see it clear most of the region, hanging on a little bit in parts of Cape Breton as well as in northern parts of New Brunswick into Thursday evening before we start to see that clear skies coming through on Friday. So as we take a look here at our accumulated rainfall for Thursday, we are going to continue to see a little bit more in the Woodstock area and then again along that coastline in Nova Scotia. So Sheet Harbor, we're going to see some more over in Canso as well, and that's going to be the majority of most of the accumulated rain coming through. Watching our wind gust forecast, we are going to see winds start to switch direction once the system pushes out. So we will see those winds coming from the west mostly as the system pushes through. We will see a little bit of northwesterly winds coming through the coastline in Nova Scotia, and then those are going to taper off and we won't have to deal with a whole lot of gusting winds as we head into Friday, which is what we want to know for the weekend. So as we take a look at Thursday, we are going to see mostly sunny skies. Again, a few scattered showers through parts of northern New Brunswick, but mostly sunny conditions. As we head later into the day in lower parts of New Brunswick as well as central parts of the province, we will start to see those showers pushing out, clearing into the afternoon. Much of the same over on Prince Edward Island. We will see those winds gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour while this system works itself out of the region. Same with over in Cape Breton. We'll see winds from the southwest gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour. Some drizzle, some rain, some fog patches. That's especially going to be along the coastline of central and western parts of Nova Scotia as we head throughout Thursday. So those will start to clear a little bit later in the afternoon, so it may take a little bit more time for those fog patches to clear tomorrow in the late morning, rather early afternoon. But taking a look at our 7-day forecast, yes, we're going to see those sunny skies come back and those warmer temperatures coming back in as we head throughout the weekend. So not a bad weekend to get out and about, especially in New Brunswick. We could see some spotty showers on Saturday in northern parts of New Brunswick, but for the most part, that's going to be in the evening and late night. Over on Nova Scotia, we are going to see some of those rain periods continuing for Thursday before that sun and cloud come into the region for Friday, Saturday, and then a bit of a cloudier start to the day on Sunday, but we should see that sun pop through throughout the afternoon. And then over on Prince Edward Island, again, that chance of showers remaining for Thursday before we see mostly sunny conditions into Friday, a mix of sun and cloud as we head into the weekend and those warmer temperatures coming back in. So not a bad Wednesday to Thursday, seeing the rain, and then we head into the weekend for some nice weather, Bruce.
I'm still going to keep the umbrella in the car, I think.
Good call.
Not a bad idea. Okay, thank you, Brianne. We're going to step aside for a quick little moment, but stay with us. There is more to come.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
So whether it's a weekend getaway or some kind of cross-country trip, a lot of Maritimers have chosen to hit the highway this summer, it seems. In fact, a new study finds the average Canadian will spend nearly 20 hours behind the wheel in search of summer fun. As CTV's Ryan McDonald tells us tonight, from stretching the budget to going off the beaten path, there are plenty of reasons to get yourself in the driver's seat.
Liam Scanlon is looking forward to hitting the open road.
Check out Philadelphia, check out the sights there, and also the city of Pittsburgh, check out a couple of ball games, and then I'm going to go up to Toronto and see Ed Sheeran in concert there at the Rogers Centre.
Scanlon figures that the round trip will have them behind the wheel for more than 40 hours over a span of 9 days. As for why they didn't just book a few flights,
well, it's still cheaper to drive than fly, even though, you know, gas prices might be going up there, but it's still cheaper endeavor to drive to these places than it is to fly.
Yesterday, the car rental marketplace, Turo, released its 2026 summer road trip report. It found that among Canadians choosing road trips, nearly half, 48%, chose to drive because it's more cost-effective than flying. 7 in 10 Canadians have at least 2 trips planned for this summer, and nearly half plan to travel in an SUV, with 15% taking a hybrid or electric vehicle. The head of Destination Cape Breton says the traffic around the trail appears to be up this summer.
You see them from Florida, you see them from Texas, so people are driving long distance to come to our island destination.
The study also found that Gen Z leads this road tripping trend, with more than 1 in 4 Gen Zers, 28%, planning to spend more than $5,000 this year on summer travel. The Scanlon's trip won't be cheap either, but they see it as a chance to make some more memories.
I'm very excited for it there. I can't wait to get on the road.
Ryan McDonald, CTV News.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, remembering a popular professor who died in a tragic accident while cycling last week. First, though, your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at the Armdale Roundabout in this rainy Wednesday evening. Brianne Foley in for Kaylin Mitchell with your wake-up weather. CTV News at 11:30 continues.
Thursday on Your Morning Atlantic, Pastry Paradise.
We will meet the owner of a bakery where everything is made from scratch and celebrates Brazilian flavors.
Start your morning with us Thursday on Your Morning Atlantic on CTV2 and Crave.
Just like that, Thursday is upon us. We'll kick it off with a look at the wake-up weather from Brianne.
Yes, well, we are seeing most of that rain clearing out. So that is good news as we head into our Thursday, especially up in northern parts of New Brunswick. We will be dealing with some fog throughout the course of the morning into the early afternoon. And then we will see some more scattered showers hanging around the coastal areas as well as Cape Breton for the afternoon. But mostly it should be clearing out. Bruce?
Okay, thank you, Brianne. A popular Halifax engineering professor, cyclist, and community leader is being mourned tonight after a tragic accident last week. CTV's Jesse Thomas spoke with family and friends about the impact he had on so many lives.
Friends, colleagues, cyclists, and the Muslim community are remembering their friend, Dr. Nouman Ali, a devoted community builder and inspiring educator.
I deal with thousands of community members, but I can tell you Dr. Nouman would be one of a handful of people I will think of when anything is needed in the community.
The long-serving Dalhousie University engineering professor and avid cyclist was killed Friday after he was involved in a collision with a pickup truck. Police said the driver of the truck opened the door in Ali's path as he was cycling along the stretch of Strawberry Hill Street in Halifax's North End. The 71-year-old was taken to hospital but later died. His family and those who knew and loved him are mourning the family man who left a major impact on those he met.
He was a mentor and a father figure to a lot of people, not just to myself. And everyone has, over the last few days, have reminded me what he did. You know, they all have stories of what he did to them and, you know, how he made their lives better.
Police say the driver was issued a summary offense ticket.
This is wrong. It's a negligent act.
The cycling community is calling the tragedy avoidable.
It's shocking, it's heartbreaking, but I know also the whole cycling community is devastated. You know, it just brings home the risks that we take when we're out on the road.
They want this tragedy to be a wake-up call and urge drivers to pay attention and use a technique called the Dutch reach when exiting their vehicle.
Rather than opening your door with your left hand, you reach over with your right hand, open the door, and of course naturally you turn and see someone out of your peripheral vision.
Close to 700 people attended a funeral service on Monday for Ali, including his close engineering colleagues who are still reeling.
We lost a friend, a colleague. He was a father, he was a husband, and he has huge influence in so many of us.
Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Jesse. That is your late news for tonight. If you joined us late, you'd like another look at any of our stories, ctvnewsatlantic.ca is always your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening. We hope to see you again tomorrow.